All right, Kim, my apologies for the delay. So, summary of what we worked on. The picture on the right here is where you started. I'll draw a few lines. One is we talked about our posture, trying to get our hip joint a little bit more on top of our ankle. So to fill that with your height, we just widen our stance a little bit and then moved our knees a little bit more out closer to your toe line. Okay, because that's going to help with what we struggle with coming into the ball. And then you can see we widen your stance a little bit, got our feet turned out, because what was happening was when we would swing, we wouldn't ever get our hips really to turn, knee never moved inward, left hip never rotated. So then that's going to make us have to jump forward early, and that shaft is then coming down too steep. Okay, so in the picture on the left, we started to get our hips to rotate a little bit more. Let our left knee just kind of comes in, not really because of a conscious effort, but just because now this left hip is starting to externally rotate. So you can see the difference. Let me get these guys. The difference in this space here. A little bit of space here that was just meant your hip moved behind you. A lot bigger pivot. Now we can see a little bit more of the back of the right shoulder, where over here you can't really see it. Just good signs. The golf club at the top, because of our pivot, our arms don't have to overwork to create length of swing, and now the club is a little bit more in line with your hands versus being a little closer to your head here. Now what that's going to do is enable us then in the transition to let the left knee pull back away. That helps us not jump left too quick, and we can see how much shallower our shaft is in position on the left here at halfway down. That's where we like for the shaft to point, slightly above the ball. That just is kind of an indication that this shaft is coming down more shallow. And then now we're not going to have to jump up. Anyone who comes down like right here, this steep of an angle, is either going to have to go backwards or they're going to have to kind of jump up out of the way. And that's what was causing you the biggest issues with your ball striking, was then you had to move away, move up to try to get that club back somewhat in a shallowed position. And then obviously when we do that, we're going to throw some more loft at the golf ball. Okay, now on the left, because we came down shallower, and obviously we had that feeling of, I put a ball right there where you've taught yourself to rotate, keeping your head more against the ball. You're going to see you're more in your posture. Your head hasn't moved back near as much. Right arm's got a little bit more bend to it, and obviously you can see how much more shaft angle you have now at impact. Okay, so that's pretty impressive for just 2 hours of work, but that's the key. Step one's posture. Step two is we want to get those hips moving, turning, not sliding, but turning around a nice centered head. And then you just do those little impact drills where you feel how you're turning as your head staying more against that ball a little bit longer. And then obviously we're not trying to keep our head down, we're trying to keep a little bit more of our bends coming through the ball. And then we can see quite a bit different shaft exit. And that's just kind of a result of us now opening our body up versus standing up. So really awesome job. Pretty simple. You keep this, you get comfortable with this swing on the left. It's a super functional golf swing, so you're not going to have to spend a lot of time hitting balls. You can spend most of your time hitting wedges and short game, because that swing's really awesome. Just get some reps in. Let me know how it's going. Talk to you soon.